Hey guys, Zach here. Second time trying to record this. Today's video is going to be a little bit more serious. So I would really appreciate no immature comments. They will be deleted. Just simply because this is a conversation I want to have with you guys over a very important matter that's happened in my life and just something I want to talk to you guys about. So, 3 years ago, on this day, I went to the hospital because I was considering attempting suicide. It was something I was highly considering, and like I said, it was 3 years ago today. And 3 years ago in a month from now, so a month after I went to the hospital the first time, I did things to myself that caused myself harm. I'm not going to dive into specifics, but the reason why I'm saying this is like I said, it's been 3 years and I really wanted to reflect on it and I want to talk to you guys about it. And I know you're probably like, why? You're a gaming channel talking about nerdy stuff. Why does this matter? This matters because mental health affects everyone. You know, everyone, especially nowadays, is affected somehow by mental health. Everyone. But also, a lot of my audience, a lot of the people who watch my videos, who are in the Discord server, who follow me on Twitter, all of that, a lot of you guys are younger than me even. Like, there's a lot of teenagers mostly in my server, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think there's even like a couple 12-year-old, like there's some young people in my server. And I first started really having depression issues at the age of about 13, I think is correct. That was the age. And it's something that's really almost overtaken my life, so I feel like I want to talk to you guys about it. And of course, I can't tell you how to be happy or how to not have social anxiety or depression, but I figured maybe hearing a story will at least make you feel not as alone. Because one of my main problems in life is I feel more alone, especially nowadays, than ever. I'm basically locked in my room, doing schoolwork most of the day, not really getting to do much. I haven't seen a single friend, from campus. I have some residents of mine that I like, and my coworkers that I occasionally see, but that's about it. I don't really do much. So right now, actually, my mental health is pretty bad, actually, now I'm thinking about it. But it's one of those things where I look at YouTube and you guys who watch the videos and comment and all that fun stuff, it makes me more appreciative and it makes me feel not as alone. Still alone, but not as alone. So someone recommended to me, someone put in a comment on a video, I don't remember which video, but it wasn't that long ago, that I should do a Draw My Life. Well, let me tell you something. If you saw my personal drawings for my Luigi's Mansion 4 concept videos, the ones that I drew, you know my drawing isn't good. So I'm not going to do that. But I think I'm just going to walk you through my life. I'm not going to go through every little detail of my life. But, usually I keep myself reserved. Not many people know much about me, from my Discord server. I don't share too much. Kind of private, I guess. But, so let me share. So, I was born in New Jersey state. And I'm not going to say where I am now. I'm not going to say where I live or, anything really recent. But I was born in Jersey. And I actually grew up in kind of a rough neighborhood. It was the nicer part of the area, but it was still not the best. I mean, the county in Jersey I was brought up in was definitely not that great. But regardless, so, I had issues where I moved a lot when I was a kid. So I was born in Jersey in this rough area. Then I moved to Pennsylvania. Then I moved back to Jersey. And then I moved to a different place in Jersey. Then I moved a lot. So I didn't really get that social upbringing where I have a childhood best friend that I've had since I was 8, 7, 6. I don't really have much of that. So I always kind of grew up not by myself. I never grew up like, or I was never really alone in a sense. Everywhere I went, I usually had someone there that I buddied along with, got through my time there with, then moved and kind of moved on. Like, so I don't really, especially from like elementary school, I don't really know anyone from my elementary school. I don't remember anyone. Middle school, some people, but I don't really talk to them. High school, a few people, but again, not as many as I grew up with, or not as many that I went to school with. But that's a normal thing. You don't really keep in contact a lot with people from school once you graduate. But this is where it gets interesting. In 2012, it was about, well, actually, no, in the beginning of 2012, I lost my grandfather. Not, obviously, I lost my grandfather this past summer, but I lost a different grandfather. My grandfather who lived in the UK. And that hit me really hard. It was the first time, it wasn't the first death I've experienced, or it was just, it was the most powerful one because it was someone so close to home, and I was already traveling to and from England at the time. They were canceled flight. It was a whole situation. So ever since then, my mental health started to go down because in my middle school, I wasn't treated the best. You guys know me by now. Hopefully, I hope. I'm kind of a nerd. I'm kind of different. I guess different's a way to put me. I'll say that. I'm not the most normal individual, but I'm Zach. I try to be nice. I try to, I try to be nice to everyone. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's life. You make mistakes. But in middle school, I was bullied pretty hard, mostly because I'm this kid from Jersey, born and raised in Jersey, who was also kind of a nerd, and ended up going to a middle school in the middle of nowhere in upstate New York. Like, literally the middle of nowhere. Farm fields were everywhere. In the spring, the farmers would spread their fertilizer, and I hated every minute of it. And I got bullied because I didn't fit in. I was a city Jersey kid in this hillbilly kind of town. So I didn't like it. I eventually got to the point in like April of 2012. I was so unhappy that I considered suicide at the age of 13. It was not a fun time. I got referred to the school counselor. It was a whole big thing. But, I wasn't happy. And it led to me leaving the school. It led to me running away from the very thing I was afraid of. And sometimes people tell you in life that to never run away from your fears, always face them head on. But sometimes that isn't the best advice, because when you have faced your fears and you have tried for so many years to get over those fears, and then you just keep on going, eventually you're going to wear out, and eventually you're just going to lose. You're going to collapse. You're going to fall. So that's why I decided I'm done. I'm done fighting this fight. I'm leaving. So I did. Then I moved to New York City. And those are probably some of the best years of my life, to be honest. I went to New York City, and I started my YouTube channel 2012 at the very end of the year. You can even, you can even tell in my very early videos, I was still kind of recovering a bit. I was first of all, I was in a new school again, so I was like trying to make my way through, so I was nervous. I was still depressed. I was still very, but then, as I got a little more along on my YouTube channel, I got a lot happier. High school was great. It had its downsides, of course, but it was okay. It was decent. I made some friends. I did some things that I would have never done in my old school. So I was happy. It was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. Senior year sucked for me. Not because the year itself was bad, but because I knew it was coming to an end. I knew from like the very beginning of my senior year that, I had to go to college back upstate. So I guess I am kind of telling you where I am, but it doesn't matter. So I, you know, went through senior year, was really upset that I was leaving again, and I left and I started college. First year of college was surprisingly okay. Um, it was interesting to say the least. I My freshman year, my first semester, it was great. I loved my roommates. They were all chill, legit. They were Josh, Imani, and Alex. They were all pretty legit. Miss them to this day. They were great. Probably some of the best guys I've ever roomed with. I've roomed with quite a few people at college, and yeah, they were really really cool. Um, so yeah, so my first semester was actually kind of good. Even my second semester actually was pretty good. I got to actually kind of show off my street knowledge of the city because we took a field trip back to city. I even had a love interest. Yeah, Zach had a love interest. Kayla, her name was, and yeah, and then my third semester came around in the year of 2017. I First of all, Kayla kind of broke my heart a bit. Well, not a bit, a lot, actually, quite a bit. I don't want to get into details, but didn't work out. Ended really roughly. Um, so there was that. And then, on top of everything else, my job, which is funny enough, the job I'm doing right now here, was very stressful. I was an RA at my old college, and every other RA that I worked with voted my floor as the worst floor in the whole school because people on my floor were horrible. So, naturally, I got my heart broken before the semester started. I had a really rough floor. My residents were something else. So, that didn't help. And I had another not love interest, like a relationship interest that really didn't work out, like horribly, even worse than the Kayla thing. I'm not gonna say her name, but yeah, that was even worse. So all of that just piled on top of each other, and that's why I went to the hospital. First time at the hospital, I was nervous as hell. If you've ever seen the movie or read the book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jack Nicholson, yeah, popular movie, popular book. It felt exactly like that. I was in a psych ward, basically. They made me take medications. I was checked on every 15 minutes, even like in the shower. It was an experience, and I hated it. Actually, the first time, I really didn't mind it that much. I mean, I didn't love it, of course, but I felt like maybe I was getting some control in my life. Maybe I felt like going to the hospital and getting the help I needed, I felt like that was me taking control in my life and actually, you know, doing what I need to do. And it was kind of empowering. It made that week go by quick ish. Not really. But, there were people there who were my age, and we all kind of talked, and it was actually okay. It wasn't too horrible. Then I got out, and the medications that they gave me were all sorts of wonky on me. They made me want to throw up. They made me tired. They didn't do anything at all sometimes. They made me lose a dramatic amount of weight. I think when I went into the hospital the first time, I weighed 160 something pounds, like 165 pounds. About a week after I got out of the hospital, so 2 weeks later, I weighed 135 pounds. I lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks. It was crazy. Like, I don't know if it was the medications or something happened with my eating or I didn't eat properly. I don't know, but I lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks. So it was scary. So a few weeks later, a month exactly later, on November 17th, like I said, I did some things to myself that I wasn't very proud of. And someone, I actually still to this day don't know who, but someone who had saw me earlier in the day said that they were concerned about me because I was not acting right. And sure enough, I was in the act of doing what I was doing, and I got a knock at the door from the police department. roommate opened the door and she was like, "Yeah, Zach's in his room," and yeah, it wasn't good. The second time I was in the hospital was horrible. I hated every minute of it. When I was there the first time, I was like, they moved me. I did really well to the point where it's so hard to explain. Like, they, instead of checking on me every 15 minutes, they upgraded me to being checked every 30 minutes. I had more freedom, than some people there who weren't as compliant. But then the second time when I went, I did not talk to anyone. I was in my bed most of the day. I didn't, I just didn't. There's only one nurse that I liked, or that I really liked, that I could actually talk to on a deeper level. Everyone else, I just kind of felt like, hi. But, and they were all the same people from the last time, so it was just a complete change where I just didn't want to talk to anyone, didn't want to see anyone. I was just upset. I was just destroyed. So then, when the week was up, it was right before Thanksgiving, so they let me out early so that I can go be with my family for Thanksgiving, and it was rough because I mean, you probably understand what I mean, but I'll just say it. I hurt myself. I self-harmed a lot. So I was going to a family gathering where both of my arms were just completely destroyed, and it was hard. It was so, so hard. But this is where my wanting to talk to you guys specifically comes in. I know we're 17 minutes into this video. I know no one's made it this far. But that's why for people who are watching my channel, it's so important that you don't hold your feelings in. People are gonna judge you. People are gonna be assholes. People are horrible. People are absolute shit. But you need to find someone. You need to find someone you could talk to. You need to find someone that you feel comfortable with, no matter who it is. If it's me, message me on Discord or Twitter. I might take a while to reply. I'm a horrible replier. Ask Real Mango. He's my personal friend. I take so long to respond to him. But if it helps you, there's something you want to get off your chest, if there's something that is just bothering you, find someone, whether it's me or whoever it is. Because there are people out there who'd rather listen to you and hear what you have to say rather than end up hearing about your death. There are people who care. There are people who want you to be safe and okay. And yeah, so I guess that's really it. I got nothing else to say besides be well, be safe. The times we're living in right now, I have cried and broken down, and I've been overwhelmed by stress more than I've ever been before. I lost my grandmother, I lost my grandfather, I lost my uncle, I lost 2 good friends from YouTube. I've lost a lot this year, and I understand. I understand pain, I understand loss, I understand everything. So that's where I turn to you guys and say, be safe, find someone to talk to if you need it. Like I said, we're living in horrible, rough times, and everyone needs their escape. And if you can find someone to give you that escape, talk to them. Do something about it. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one.